Land-based net sets are defined by a net set beginning and ending from shore. This type of set is most effective when the manatee is close to shore, the shoreline is free of debris and other obstacles, the substrate is firm, and the shoreline is a shallow grade. Land-based operations tend to be safer and more efficient than open water operations because the capture crew is working on dry land or is in very shallow water. Also, because the lead line can be pulled close to the substrate, there is less chance of the manatee escaping under it. Most land-based net sets begin with one end of the net being anchored to shore, and the rest of the net being deployed around the manatee in a variety of ways. These ways include walking or swimming the net around the target manatee. This works well in shallow water and when the manatee is not active. The net can also be deployed off the back of a capture boat, which allows for rapid deployment and is effective with an active manatee that is near shore. The net can also be deployed off the front of a stern-drive boat driven in reverse. This works well when a capture boat is not available. And finally, the net can be deployed from an unmanned John boat, like in this clip from a 1994 research capture in the TECO Big Bend Power Plant discharge canal. In this situation, researchers chose not to use a motorized boat to deploy the net because they did not want to disrupt a large aggregation using the site. In some cases, it can be very effective to have the net pre-deployed and wait for the manatee to swim into it. In this scenario, the net is set like a trap with an open end and a closed end. The open end has a rope attached that is handled by the capture crew on shore. It is usually best to use a dark sinking rope attached to the open end. This keeps the rope from being a visual obstacle for the manatee. Once the manatee swims into the net, the open end is closed by pulling the rope to shore. Once the net has encircled the manatee, the capture crew divides into two teams. Team 1 handles one end of the net, while Team 2 handles the other. Each team is split into lead pullers and float pullers. The lead pullers are positioned inside of the net perimeter and are responsible for working the lead line to shore, keeping as close to the substrate as possible. The float pullers are positioned outside of the net perimeter and are responsible for working the float line to shore, keeping tension on the line in case the manatee tries to push over the floats. The entire effort is coordinated by the lead capture crew member. Adjustments to the net retrieval pace are made by the capture coordinator to ensure that the lead line is being retrieved slightly ahead of the float line. This ensures that the manatee will be scooped up into the net bag and reduce its chance of escaping. As the net is drawn to shore, the retrieved net should be piled away from the water's edge. The capture coordinator will direct the crew to the final capture location. Both teams will gradually work their ends towards this location. While the net is being pulled to shore, the capture crew should be watching for boils or floats going down, indicating one or more manatees in the net. This can also indicate other issues in the net, like fish or net snags. Once all the lead line has been retrieved, the final float line is rapidly retrieved. All capture crew members then grab the lead and float line together, which will completely contain the manatee in the bag of the net. Then, in a coordinated effort led by the capture coordinator, the manatee is pulled up the shoreline or onto a capture boat. Eventually, the manatee's head is positioned away from the water's edge and is pulled completely out of the water. Extracting the manatee will be discussed in an upcoming chapter entitled Restraint and Handling. Now watch and listen to this next clip that shows the first-person perspective in the net retrieval process.
Let's squeeze in here. Up further. You're good. Bag it, grab the flip line. You're good.
You're like, screw it, I'm jumping.
No, you're good.
Going backwards. Turn the head, turn the head, turn the head, turn the head up, turn the head up.
I'm sorry. You're good.
There we go. Get underneath. Bradley. Ready, let's pull it up, close to the shore. 1, 2, 3. Okay, get some weight on it.
Good.